Hi guys, it's Ani from Create Your Future. I am a licensed law of attraction and life coach, and I'm so excited to be sharing this course with you. Um, this course is all about manifesting your specific person. The the goal I have with each and every one of you taking this course is I don't only want you to manifest your specific person, but I want you to manifest a stable, loving, committed relationship. And in this course, I will be getting really into detail with you about all of your assumptions you have of your specific person currently. What are your desires? What are the blocks? So, we're going to get into all of that. And I will be sharing everything that I have personally done in my life and with my clients and how we all got success. So, all these techniques that I'll be sharing with you are techniques that have gotten me success with my SP, just success in general with everyone. So, I'm so excited. So, let's get started. All right. So before we begin, I would love if you can get a notebook or a journal, or if you probably already have one, I don't know, but we're gonna dedicate that notebook to this course, and you will be using this notebook in the future, like going forward, to continue these techniques if you like them. So if you can get a notebook right now, I will wait for you. So let's get that out and we can get started. Okay, so what I would first like you to do is I want you to write out all the intentions you have about this course. So some examples could be I intend to feel confident in manifesting after this course. I intend to become a master manifester through this course. I intend to have the best relationship with my SP because of this course and because of what it taught me. And you can use the intentions I've provided for you on the screen right now, or you can write out more. You can write out ones that feel good to you. What comes to your mind about this course? Like, what intentions do you have about this course? So, I'm going to give you a moment to write all that down. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and go forward. So now, what I would like you to do, if you can see like on the screen how there's two pages of a note, there's two blank pages of the notebook. So what I'm gonna want you to do is I'm gonna want you to like pick one side of your notebook. It could be the left side, it could be the right side. On one side, your preferred side, we're going to write down all of the current assumptions you have about your specific person right now. So, how do you currently see them to be? How do you currently perceive them? You can also write down characteristics. So, this is pretty much what bugs you, what's going on, what triggers you in your mind about, like, are they judgmental? Are they stubborn? Is your SP afraid of commitment? Is your SP emotionally available or not? Like, I want you to write down everything that's ever been an issue for you in your head. Or if you broke up with your SP and you're trying to manifest them back, you can write down the things that actually happened, what was said, what characteristics just really bothered you, and what do you think triggers you. I want you to write all of it down right now. The purpose of this, guys, is um if we know everything that's ever triggered us, or just even if you don't know, you've probably had an experience where maybe there was an argument, maybe they said something or they did something that did not sit well with you. All this needs to you kind of have to detox right now. I want this to be almost like a meditation, like a therapy. I want you to detox everything on this the side of the paper, and we're gonna use this later on. So I'll tell you later on what we're gonna do with it, but just write down everything right now. All the current assumptions you have about your specific person. Do they want a relationship? Do they not? Most of you could think, or they maybe your SP has told you, I'm not looking for a committed relationship. I just want friends with benefits. Or I don't know, like I don't know how I feel about relationships in general, or how I feel about love. Write all this down. All right, I'll stop talking. I'll give you a moment to write it down. This is pretty much like your complaint side of the paper. Okay. If you guys need more time, I think you can pause this part. So pause, take all the time you need. If you already wrote everything down, I'm going to go ahead and go forward now to the next slide. Okay. So you chose, in the last slide, you chose one side of the notebook, maybe the left or the right. Now let's write down on the opposite side all the characteristics the ideal version of your SP would have. So this is pretty much going to be everything you wrote down previously, the opposite of. So if you wrote down your SP is unreliable, we're going to be writing down the ideal version of my SP. I intend my SP is reliable. I intend they're open-minded. You don't have to write intend in front of it. I just want you to write down a list of all the characteristics you would love for this new version of your SP to have. Committed, faithful, loyal, emotionally available, vulnerable, maybe, amazing communication, loving, caring, attentive to your needs, reliable. Did I say reliable? Reliable is a big one. So I really want you to think about this. Go within, go within, go within your heart and your mind, and really think about, how do you want this person to be with you? What characteristics would you love for this person to show you? And if you're having a hard time, it's a great way to just look at what you previously wrote, what was bugging you and bothering you, what were your triggers. You can write the complete opposite of that list onto the ideal version. And the purpose of this, guys, is when you're not clear, you can't manifest successfully. You'll almost have like hot and cold characteristics, or a hot and cold person, or a partial maybe manifestation. So we want to be really clear on what we want. We were already very clear on what was triggering us, and what circumstances were there, what was bugging us in the previous page. So now let's be clear and know what we really, really want from this person, how we want them to be with us, what characteristics. Like, almost imagine like you're explaining this to a friend. So almost imagine, like, let's say a friend asks you, like, oh, like, tell me about your person. Tell me about your specific person. How are they? Ooh, Who are they for you? Like, how are they? You would be like, they're so reliable. I feel so safe with them. They're so attentive to my needs. They're so caring and affectionate. They're so passionate about our relationship. They're so committed. They're so loyal. They're so faithful. Things like this. Okay. Now that we have both sides of this notebook filled out, one side is current characteristics, one side is ideal version characteristics. Now, I want you to really look at both of these pages, really compare them. Are they in line with what you desire? Like, do you have things that currently match your current, like your current reality, or not? Or is it a huge difference day and night? Most of you are going to say it's not the same. It's day and night, pretty much, black and white. That is why you're here, because we are working towards getting you your desired version of your SP and maintaining this relationship. So this is like how we get to the bottom of what's going on, what is happening now, what do we want to happen in the future, what do we do to get the better version of them. Okay, so just really compare and contrast everything and see where you stand. Okay, now I really want you to get into detail for this part. How would communication be with your ideal version of your SP now? How would ideal communication be? Forget logic, forget what's currently happening, forget how they've been. This is where a lot of people get confused and caught up. They look back and try to work with what they've already experienced with their person. So, if I've already experienced that with that person, then that's what I'll write down because that's what seems logically right? So let's say communication with your SP was, it was okay. Even in the best times of the relationship, it was just okay. Like maybe they would call here and there from time to time, and you were satisfied with that because that's all you knew. That's all they would show you. So this is all you know now. This is how much they can be or show up for you, right? Forget that. I want you to write down the ideal, your ideal, not what's already happened in the past, not what 3D has showed you, none of it. Your ideal. Okay? So examples would be, how many times would you speak to your SP throughout the day? I want you to write that down. What do you guys talk about together? Write it down. How does it feel talking to your SP? What emotions come up when you talk to your SP? When you see their name ringing on your phone? When you see you got a message from them, how would you feel? So let's go back to how many times would you speak to your SP throughout the day? I want you to write down, how often would the communication be? Would it be every morning, every evening, both? Would it be every time they get a free chance to call you, to talk to you? What do you guys talk about together? Get in detail. Are you guys talking about your goals? Are you guys joking around with each other? Are you guys flirting? Are you guys planning dates? Are you talking about family and friends, gossip, whatever it is, whatever makes you feel good, whatever you want with this person, ideally, write it down. And ideally, guys, I want you to spend at least 5 to 10 minutes on this page. I want you to really go in depth and in detail, because the more you write down the ideal version, the more your subconscious mind is thinking it's all facts. Everything you write down and really focus on, because you're not really distracted, your brain is like, okay, this makes this person feel good. I can sense a bit of like peace of mind and relief and joy when this person's writing down everything they love about their person. How are they communicating with this person? It must be a fact. If it's a fact, and it is, because you're God of your reality, you're the one commanding and intending all of this, affirming all of this as you're writing it down, the universe has to show it to you in your 3D. Okay? Let's move on. Now, how would the ideal version of your SP act with you now? What would they think of you? Again, I really want you to go into detail. And you could probably pause this part, or, in the future when you're going to be writing this out again, because I want you to write this out multiple times until you see it conform in your 3D. How is this person showing up for you now? How are they acting with you? What do they think of you? What would they think of you? Examples. I can give you examples. This person thinks of you as their happiness. I want you to start imagining or picturing in your head right now as you write that this person literally feels lost when they don't talk to you, or when they don't ask you how your day was, or when they don't have any communication with you, or when you're not in their life. They feel lost. That's how I want you to see them. I want you to see them as someone that has to be with you. And you know what? You're probably feeling like that right now about them. Like, I want them, I need them, like I can't function without them. I just really, really want them in my life. I want you to picture them like that. And you don't have to really like force yourself to feel. I cannot tell you guys enough how much I've manifested in my life with my SP, with other things. I never had to force myself to feel it. Just affirm. Just write it down. Just write it down and let your brain understand what you're writing. Let your brain read those sentences as you're writing, right? So it's almost like a meditation. Write down, how would the ideal version of your SP act with you now? What would they think of you? Okay? I'll give you a few minutes. You can even state like, well, my SP, I am someone for my SP that I'm that only one person in their life that they feel like intoxicated when they're with. I'm that one person, and I'm sure we all have someone in our life, anyone. It doesn't have to be SP. It could be anyone that you just feel drawn to. You just feel so comfortable around this person. You can spend night and day with this person all day, every day, and not get tired because they're just so calming, right? I want you to picture that you're that person for your SP, and I want you to write that down. Okay. Okay. Now, I want you to write down how you would feel being the number one priority of your ideal SP. Again, do not worry about your logic. Do not worry about being a realistic person in any of this. The whole point of any of these techniques is I want you to dismiss all the rules and regulations that is going on in your head, all these like steps that must be taken in order for you to even imagine this amazing person. Forget it. Forget what they've shown you in the past. Forget what 3D is showing you right now. I want you to really, really get into your head and your heart and really, really write down how you would feel being the number one priority of your ideal SP. What does it look like to you? How would SP be with you? What are some things they would say and do, indicating you're the one and only priority? So, what would your person say to you to reassure you? I want you to write that down. What would they do? What would they do to reassure you, to make you feel like really special, like you have nothing to worry about? There's no other person in the world I'd rather be with than you. How would this person, the ideal version of your SP, show this to you? I want you to write all of it down. And the more you get detailed, the more you get specific, the more you can hear that person saying all these things to you, the better. Okay? So I know we're using a journal, your own journal for this. You'll probably want to write at least a page of each of these sections that we're doing. So just really like get into it. So you'll have a page filled with each slide. Okay. Moving on. So starting off on a new page, how would you feel knowing your ideal SP is yours and only yours? Again, I really want you to go into your mind and what would it feel like to just 100% know that this person is yours and only yours? And remember, guys, I really want to point out something. You are the only operant power. You're the operant power in your reality. It's just you. You are the person the only person that has free will. And the reason why we get so caught up in our thoughts and doubts and questioning and fears and all of this is because it's so easy to forget that you're the only person with free will. Because all your life, unless you were taught everyone's you pushed out, or you were raised everyone's you pushed out, law of assumption, unless you were raised like that, and I don't really know anyone that was raised like that. If you were, that's a blessing. But unless that's the case, like all your life you've been reacting. All your life you've literally been looking at 3D and reacting to it. And guess what? You see something you don't like, you react to it. The consequence of reacting is getting more. Well, it's not a consequence. So if it's reacting to something you love, you're going to get more. So obviously it's not a consequence. But when it's something you don't like, that's why I say consequence. When it's something you don't like and you're looking at it, you're thinking about it in 3D, you're like, oh my God, this happened. They said this, they did this, they broke up with me, they were so rude to me, they triggered me. Every time you think this way, guess what you're doing? Come on in, come on down. That's what you're doing. So please keep in mind, your 3D doesn't matter. If nothing in 3D is going your favor, you can't use it as a reference. That's like self-sabotage. Oh, nothing in 3D is working in my favor and it hasn't really been working in my favor, so I'm going to use it as a reference. No way. This is why we have an imagination. This is why you have an imagination. Imagination is not just for your childhood or for children. Everything we have in our body is there for a purpose, is there for a reason. You have your eyelashes to protect your eyes, from dust and all this, right? You have your teeth to protect your tongue and your mouth. You have skin to protect your bones and muscles. Everything you have is given to you because you need to utilize it. It's there to be utilized, right? What about our imagination? Our imagination is there because if we don't like what's going on there out in 3D, we can see our desire up here. The only problem is our desire up here doesn't instantly manifest out there, so we get frustrated. Your brain and your imagination is always way faster than the 3D. You have to allow the 3D to keep up. This is why I want you to be writing all this down. I know some of you might not like writing or scripting. This is not to make you an amazing scripter or writer, or all of this is to get you in a zone long enough to get your subconscious thinking all of this is fact. Everything I'm writing down is a fact right now. And guess what? The more I write it down, the more in detail I get, the more specific I get. Guess what I have to see out there? All of this. Everything I'm writing down right now. So what you do today, you will see tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day. What you keep looking at in 3D, you will recreate. That's why we do not want to look out into 3D. We want to look into our imagination and get it all down. Be clear, okay? So take your time, write down how would you feel knowing your ideal SP is yours and only yours, okay? List behaviors of your ideal version of the SP. Mention, are they loyal? How does it look them being loyal? How does it look? How does it feel them being faithful to you and only you? Okay, write all of it down. And again, if you need to, I think you can pause this moment. I'm not sure, but if you can pause this moment, great. Take all the time you need. Okay, now I want you to write down, how does it look like and feel knowing your ideal SP is fully committed to you and they will always have your back? This always having back, I mentioned it on purpose, guys, because I remember me before I knew everyone as you pushed out years and years and years ago. This was a personal issue for me. I would always get very defensive. I would always feel like, SP doesn't have my back, so I need to have my guard up, and it would create problems. So I really want you to get in detail and really in your head and your heart. What do you hear your SP telling you to indicate they're committed and deeply and truly in love with you? What would those phrases be? What would your SP be telling you? How would they reassure you? I'm going to read that again. What do you hear SP telling you to indicate they are committed and deeply and truly in love with you and will always be by your side and grow in this relationship with you? So, how would they reassure you that they got your back? They're going to be by your side. They're going to grow into they're going to give you a loving, committed, strong relationship, and you're going to both grow together into a very strong, committed relationship. I want you to write all of that down. How is it going to look? How is it going to feel? You can even write things like, I'm so happy and grateful. What would you be saying to people if this was happening right now? I would be saying, I'm so happy and grateful that I know my SP has my back. I know that in any given situation, I never have to worry. I know that every decision I make, my SP supports me. I know that even if I don't share my decisions right away, I know that when I get a chance to tell my SP the decisions I've made in, in work, in life, in career, in whatever, in family, whatever it is, I know they got my back no matter what. So write all that down. I cannot wait to get your guys' success stories after this. Like, you can't imagine. Okay, let's move on. Now, what is your ideal self-concept about yourself? Knowing the ideal version of your SP is here with you now. So I'll explain. How do you feel knowing you have your SP now? You have your committed relationship. You have the ideal version of them. They have your back. You are the number one priority. How do you feel right now knowing that? Get into specifics. I want you to get into specifics. I want you to be detailed. It matters. I want you to even write down what emotions you would be feeling. Okay. And the reason I say this, the reason I even have this slide up is because in the past, when I was manifesting my SP, and we have an amazing relationship now, and we're committed and we're loyal, and we're so loving of each other. And the reason I mentioned this at all is because before, when I didn't have all of this, when I wasn't a master manifester, when I didn't know all the do's and don'ts, before, I would notice that how I felt having a good day with SP and having a bad day with SP, it physically would get to me. Like, when I would have a good day with SP, I was on top of the world. When I would have an amazing communication with my SP, I would feel like I'm Superwoman. I would feel like nothing can ever faze me. But I would get so easily triggered. Like, if he would say something or do something, and I would completely feel down. Like, I wouldn't want to talk to anybody. I wouldn't want to go out. I wouldn't want to see my friends. So I would notice that physically it would affect my self-concept, and I didn't have an amazing self-concept, and I didn't feel like I was worthy. Like, my worth would go up when everything was great, and my worth would go down from a small little trigger. So this is why I included this slide, because I want you to really focus on what is your ideal self-concept about yourself. Knowing the ideal version of your SP is here with you now. How do you feel knowing they are with you now? They got your back. They're not going anywhere. Okay? So I'll give you a moment to write that down. Okay. Let's go ahead. Okay. Ideal SP affirmations. How I would like for you to create your affirmations. And I personally like affirmations to be specific. I like them to be natural for you. Like, sometimes, and this is my secret, I want you to trick your logic, okay? This is what helped me and a lot of my clients have the successful relationships that we have right now. Trick your logic. What do I mean by trick your logic? When you state an affirmation, when you say something, Your logic, and you guys have probably seen this in a lot of my YouTube videos, your logic is going to be like, that's not true. Your SP's not all over you. Your SP's not making you a priority. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Are you delusional? That voice in your head is going to be like a smart aleck and just make you have all these doubts. This is why I say trick your logic. When you state an affirmation or when you say an intention, and they're the same thing, intention and affirmation, same thing. When you state it, know that voice is listening. You're being recorded all the time, okay? It's much more easier to trick your logic and make it feel natural than to say something like, oh, I'm so happy and grateful we're married, we have 10 kids. No, your brain can't go that far, because right now it's like, what are you talking about? Like, do we even have communication? Do we even have a normal, are we even living together? What are you saying? Right? So this is my little secret and trick. Trick your logic as much as you can. So I'll give you an example. So let me read. So I intend SP's name. This can be one of your affirmations. I intend that blank is always spending time with me. We always have loving, positive conversations. So if this is not the case right now, I want you to say, I intend blank, so your SP's name, has the thoughts right now. They're literally thinking right now of how we would have loving, positive conversations. Or if you've had this person, if you've had a relationship with this person prior, you would say it as though you remember. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful that, those amazing conversations we used to have, we're currently having those right now. Your logic can't say no, because your logic's like, oh yeah, well, you did at one point have good communication. Oh, is that happening right now too? Okay, cool. So now your subconscious is like, fact. They affirmed it. It must be fact, because she's got of her reality, right? I'm not gonna question God of her reality. I'm not gonna question what she affirms. She's the boss. She's affirming it. I have to give it to her. Okay. You can also say, I'm so happy and grateful. They're constantly contacting me. We always have loving conversations. You can say, isn't it wonderful? We are in constant communication, and we always have loving conversations. This is just an example, okay? So whether it's about communication, you can state it about communication. If it's about being a priority, you can say, I'm so happy and grateful that this person's literally telling me I'm their number one priority, that they're showing me I'm their number one priority. How would it look like? So how would it look like being someone's number one priority? Remember in the previous slides, we wrote it down. So you can use everything we've written down previously and affirm them, okay? Affirm the feelings. So happy and grateful that I feel so confident. I feel so confident knowing my SP has my back, okay? Things like this. Okay, let's go forward. All right, now I want you to write out at least 5 intentions about communication based off of the ideal version you've created in the previous slides. So go back to that page where you wrote down how amazing communication would be. Remember, we wrote down the ideal version. How would they be communicating with you? I want you to read that over and create 5 intentions. And I want you to write those 5 intentions on a new piece of paper or a new page. So some examples could be, I'm so happy and grateful that my SP calls to check up on me in the morning, calls to check up on me throughout the day. They call to check up on me and how I'm doing and how my day is going, because they care. Because they care so much about me. Like, why wouldn't they? I'm God of my reality. Like, I'm so happy and grateful that they're doing this. I'm so happy and grateful that as I'm affirming this, they're hearing these thoughts. They're getting those thoughts. They're picking up on my affirmations. And that's how Everyone Is You Pushed Out works, guys. Like, I want you to imagine you have like this invisible antenna, right? You have this invisible antenna from your head, from your brain to their brain. Or if we're more modern, we can say we're connected through Wi-Fi, right? Our energetic Wi-Fi. So the thoughts you're having, the assumptions you're having, the way you perceive this person to be, that's all being sent out to that person. If you have an iPhone, like, you know how like AirDrop works? Like that. You're literally dropping the thoughts in their brain. But they don't know it's you. They don't know like you're over here doing affirmations. They just randomly like, oh, Ani's thinking about me? No, I'm thinking about her. Like, I kind of miss her. Remember, like, last time I talked to her, it went so well. Like, I miss that. I want to talk to her. I want to reach out to her. I want to maybe take her out, you know? Because I remember how good she made me feel. That's how they start thinking. They don't know it's you doing affirmations. But this is how you being the operant power works. This is how your personal free will works. No one else has free will, just you. And if you want to experiment with this, what I would say is do a list of mini manifestations. This is this is outside of this course, but if you want to experiment, right? Do a list of mini manifestations, write out phrases and intend that like, oh, my mom said this phrase to me, or my brother or coworker or sister, they said this phrase to me, or they quoted someone, right? When they do it, you're going to be like, oh, okay, this is creepy. Like, this is so specific. It's literally what I affirmed or I intended, right? That's how it works with SP. But with SP, we're so emotionally attached and involved. And for those of you that have already maybe lived with SP or experienced a relationship with SP, you already have a past and you constantly refer to that past. And that's a no-no. Because when you're creating something new, you can't refer back to the old stuff. And most of that stuff was stuff you didn't like, right? Most of that stuff contains fear, doubt, lack. So we don't want to refer back to that version. We want to create our new version. Our new version would not, leave. Our new version wouldn't hurt us. Our new version wouldn't judge us. Our new version wouldn't ghost us, any of that, okay? So I want you to use your previous notes and on the communication part and write out 5 intentions right now, okay? I'll give you a moment. Okay. Now, we're going to do the same thing that we did for communication, but we're going to write out 5 intentions about being your SP's priority. And you already wrote down how it would feel and out how they would be showing up for you if you were their priority in a previous slide. So flip through your pages, get that list that you made, get everything that you wrote down there. And now let's create intentions. So for example, an intention would be, I'm so happy and grateful that my SP cares about what I do throughout the day. I'm so happy and grateful that my SP includes me in every single one of their plans. I'm so happy and grateful that my SP asks to see me, hang out with me, talk to me before anyone else. Okay, this is an example. I want you to write down 5. So go ahead and do that. And if you're having a hard time, remember again, you can flip through the pages. You did write down how it would feel, and what it would look like to be priority. So you can use those here now and make 5 of them. Okay, let's move on. Now, for self-concept. Self-concept is literally how you feel about yourself in general, how you feel about yourself regarding relationships, how you feel about yourself with your SP. Do you feel insecure? Do you feel neglected? Do you feel like a priority? Do you feel like, you're a queen or a king and they are attentive to you, they're passionate, they're affectionate towards you? So self-concept would be more of I am, okay? So we're going to write down 10 affirmations, I am affirmations. So things I like to say is, I am a magnet for commitment, love, and success. I am the most highly desired woman. For my SP, or if you want to say it in general, you could say, I am the most highly desired woman or man in my community, in my reality. Okay? But since we're focusing on SP, I would suggest write your SP's name. So I am the most highly desired person for my SP. I would also say things like, I am intoxicating. My presence is magnetic. My presence is magical for my SP. My SP just always wants to be around me all the time. That's why I'm so magnetic. I would say I am God of my reality, and I am always creating in every given second of my life. I am creating. I am always receiving my affirmations manifest instantly and effortlessly. I am the operant power. I am successful in anything I do. I am loved. I'm wanted. I'm desired. I'm craved for. I am yearned for by my SP. So 10 affirmations of I am, okay? Let's move on. All right, guys. So I want you to include these affirmations in the beginning of your scripting routine every day. So all these intentions and affirmations we wrote in I believe it was the last 3 slides. I want you to use these affirmations, but along with those affirmations, I want you to use these ones that I'm going to be telling you right now, okay? I would ideally in the morning, I want you to start off for sure with these and then continue with the last 3 pages of affirmations we wrote. So, I'm a master manifester. The reason why I want you guys to use these, and again, I used it in my journey, because you have to remind yourself throughout the day, or when you even start your day, you have to remind yourself it's just you. It's just you. You're the operant power. You're the master manifester. Everything else roots out of you. Everything comes from your thoughts and assumptions and perception of your life, about yourself, about SP, about family, about friends, about everyone. How you perceive everything is what you'll keep getting in your life. So this is really important, okay? So I'm a master manifester. I see evidence of my intentions manifesting every single day. I'm always confident and secure, knowing I am the only person with free will in my reality. Everything is orchestrated in my favor now. I am always in charge of my thoughts and assumptions. And last one, if I persist, I will experience my desires. Okay? So I want you to include these with all the other affirmations and intentions we wrote down from the previous 3 slides, okay? All right. Now, everything we did, all this writing and everything, I want you to know repetition and persistence is key. I don't need you to feel or believe in any of your affirmations. Despite what anyone's told you, despite what you know, this is really important. This is where I had my breakthrough, and this is what gets my clients success, guys. Everyone is always confused. Do I need to believe in my manifestation? Do I have to feel a certain feeling? Do I need to be positive all day, every day? Do I need to be jumping up and down and always in the mood to dance and, everything's working out in my favor? My SP's coming. No, you don't. No, you don't. Again, I can't tell you enough how many things I've manifested, big things I've manifested, not believing I would get them. But what did I do? I affirmed them. I repeated my affirmations. I persisted. That's what got it to me. Okay? So this is what I want you to do, and I'm going to read it. So to shift from a reactor to a creator, repetition in your new ideal version of your relationship with your SP is very important. I would like you to start off your morning with writing out all your affirmations and intentions. And we already did this in the previous, in your notebook. It's all there now. So spend at least 10 to 15 minutes. Preferably, this is the first task of your morning. I do not want you to wake up, unless it's an emergency. But I don't want you to wake up, check your phone first thing. I do not want that to be the first thing you do, because whatever you feed your brain, when your brain's going from a certain wavelength to theta wavelength, I don't want you to feed your brain any nonsense, any news, any social media, any TikTok, any Instagram, none of it. I want you to be clear in what you want, what your goals are, what your affirmations are, what your intentions are, the first 10 to 15 minutes. And this doesn't mean like the first minute you open your eyes and you're just like intentions, writing down intentions. No, get up, however your routine is, maybe wash up, maybe grab a cup of coffee, get in a 10 to 15 minute, this is your self-care time. 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to write down everything, all of my affirmations, okay? You're going to do this in the morning. You're going to do this at lunchtime. So I would like you to rewrite everything at lunchtime. I would also like you to rewrite everything before bed. Now, if writing isn't for you, you don't have to. The reason I say write is because I want you to spend 10 to 15 minutes focused. If you can focus just reading it all without distraction, if you can stay focused for 10 to 15 or even 20 minutes of just reading them, saying them, whatever it is, even writing, do whatever's comfortable, but please don't let yourself be distracted by the phone, by, anything else. It's really important to submerge yourself for those 10, 15, 20 minutes of these affirmations, okay? As old thoughts arise throughout the day, so this is in between doing your 10 to 15 minutes. So obviously you have a life. Obviously maybe you're working, maybe you're seeing family, whatever you're doing. Maybe you're in the car, maybe you're in the shower, whatever it is. As old thoughts arise, opposing thoughts, negative thoughts, old 3D thoughts of your SP, the undesired thoughts, right? I want you to affirm your desires. Avoid reacting. Remember, your 3D is old news. Okay, remember, there's a little bit of lag time. Your brain and your mind and your imagination is always going faster than what's showing up in 3D. So do not let it get to you, okay? What you affirm now is creating your future. Okay? What you do now, what you think now is creating your future. So don't let what's going on out there affect your now, where you react and then you get it tomorrow and then you're like, why did I get this Why did I get this? Why did I get old behavior and past like stuff when I'm affirming all this positive stuff? Well, are you reacting to your 3D? Are you reacting to lack? Are you reacting to they're not here now? It's not happening now. All of that creates hot and cold behavior going forward. Okay? Remember, guys, we're reprogramming our brain to manifest our desires. So every single time you think of your SP, I want you to say one to two of your affirmations in your head or out loud, along with the scripting exercises. So remember, imagine anything you would exercise. If it's a muscle, right? It's gonna hurt first. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. You're not gonna be used to it. Same with your thoughts. Your mental diet's gonna be like, I don't like this. I want to go back to the old way of thinking. When I was a reactor, like everything just happened autopilot, and I didn't have to put in any effort. That was comfortable, right? You're gonna that voice in your head's gonna pop up again. You better dismiss it. You better dismiss it, because if you want results, I'm telling you, everything that got me success and my clients success, I'm telling you down to the details, like to the T's. This is what got us our success. So again, every single time you think of your SP, I want you to say one to two of your affirmations in your head or out loud, and continue your scripting exercises. This is one of my favorite quotes from Neville. Dare to believe in the reality of your assumption and watch the world play its part relative to its fulfillment. So we have to dare to believe in the reality of our assumption. We have to get there with our mind first. So I dare you to get there with all this work, your mind first, and let it come and conform into your 3D. Okay? Because the universe is orchestrating everything in your favor. That's what it wants for you. It wants to give you everything you desire and everything you want. It's what you do from the moment you affirm to the moment you receive your affirmation, your manifestation. What you do in between matters. This is why I want you guys to keep doing these exercises, keep doing these techniques, keep reprogramming your brain, because what you do from the time you desire it to the time you receive it will determine if you're going to get it faster or slower. Okay? All right, guys, that was it for our course. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, please contact us in the Create Your Future email, sessions@createyourfuture.co. I cannot wait to hear amazing news from you guys. I intend each and every one of you sees success and evidence very quickly from your SP. I intend you start seeing signs and birds before land and true evidence from your SP immediately. I intend you have patience. I intend you have confidence. I intend you are my next success story. I cannot wait to read your success story. And it's anonymous, okay? It's anonymous. I cannot wait to read your success story. I'm so thankful for you. I appreciate you. I intend you have success as quick as possible. Okay? So that was it for the course, and I want you to keep doing this as much as you can. Like, do these techniques until SP conforms and shows up, okay? Thank you so much. I intend to hear from you. Have an amazing time, okay? Bye.